thank you so much for being here today and being a part of my Ladies Do Lunch, where I sit down and talk with, I know it's ladies, but it's
Hold on. Am I in the wrong place?
It's a series that I've started around just interviewing and speaking to individuals that are dynamic, motivators, and are doing incredible things in the world right now.
Place.
Right. Anyways, first of all, we're business partners, and it's wonderful to have you take me on at Douglas Elliman and to be a part of this incredible journey over there. So it's great to have you here today on the show to talk about what's going on in the real estate market. I know that
There's nothing going on. It's just dead. No, it's crazy actually.
It's a crazy time right now, right? So tell us a little bit about what are some of the things that you're seeing right now in the market.
Los Angeles, it's changing quick because this has never happened before, so no one really knows how to gauge it. But I think there was a lot of fear that unemployment and foreclosures were going to happen, and all these things were going to drag the market down.
Right.
But the problem is in Los Angeles, we have no inventory. So any of these things that are bringing houses to market, whether it's people moving out of state or they can't afford it anymore, we need the houses. So anything below 5 million that's priced well is going into multiples and is selling usually within 2 weeks. The stuff that's high end, if there's more inventory, but right now it's a super solid market and money is cheap and people are reprioritizing their home.
Right. Would you say it's a buyer's market or a seller's market?
Below 4 million, I would say it's a seller's market, depending on the neighborhood. In the luxury side, there's more inventory than buyers.
Right.
Yeah. But they're still moving. I'm seeing houses in the hills, 20, 30, 40, 50 million dollars, gone.
Right.
Which I was shocked that people are buying that.
And have a lot of multiple offers as well.
Yeah, no, it's, I was looking for a client for a lease for $100,000 a month. And that's usually a $30 to $50 million house or more. And there's nothing because they're either in escrow or they're booked it's amazing. It's amazing. There's so much activity.
Well, Curt, it's such a dynamic time and you're such a great realtor and to the stars and in Beverly Hills in the luxury market. But you know what? How did you get into real estate?
I got into real estate because, when I grew up, no one ever taught me about real estate. But when I got into the entertainment business, everybody that was making money either made their money or put their money in real estate. You're producing a show, 5 shows, no, you buy your building.
Right.
That's where the wealth is. Even William Morris owned their buildings that they were in on El Camino. So I was like, wait a minute, that's really where the money is. And no one has ever lost money in Los Angeles on real estate if they do it well. So I was like, let's do it. So,
and you started out in the entertainment business.
Yeah. I was a producer for 20 some years. I produced over 300 hours of television, including Hell's Kitchen, Kitchen Nightmares. I was an executive at NBC. So I did all that stuff, but then I was like, real estate, when I put energy into it and effort and build there, I always make money, which is great. Whereas entertainment, you don't always make money. You do a lot of work and for nothing, a lot of time. But real estate's been great. It's it's been really, really great. And every year I've made more money than the year before.
Oh, I love that. That's like music to my ears. And it's so great to be a part of your team, the Northrup Group. So what are some of the things that you would need to know as a first-time home buyer?
As a first-time home buyer, it's super important for you to get prepared before you go in. So you want to find a great agent because that will turbocharge your learning curve.
Yeah.
And then you need to find a good lender to pre-qualify you because you want to know what your budget is. So once you set your budget, then you can start looking, and then you wrap your arms around what your options are as the budget, and then hopefully with that realtor you can start learning about what's happening at that price point in the neighborhoods that you're looking about.
So take us back to grassroots, someone purchasing a home, they've never bought a home, they don't even know if their credit is correct at this time.
First-time home buyer is either usually looking at a condo or a house.
Correct.
So if you're looking at a condo, you need to figure out how much rent you're paying and then what the mortgage payment you'd be paying to figure out okay, is it apples to apples? Am I going to be paying more for that condo, or what's my budget in the condo and how much am I out of pocket?
Right.
For houses, it's the same thing with the budget, but I always push people towards duplexes for their first time, because it allows them to get into a property in a better neighborhood because you get twice the amount of budget. So because you're only in one side of it, you're only paying for half of it. The other tenant's paying for the other half. So you can get in a better neighborhood and you can afford a more expensive product. In the meantime, that other tenant is paying it down with you. And then by the time you have enough equity in there or you paid it off, you either can move on and buy your next house and keep it and use the equity as leverage, or you could sell it and use it and trade up like that. But
I love it.
Having your first property be an income property is great.
And that's one of the things, Curt, that I know is sort of like your specialty, right? Tell us a little bit about that side of the real estate, which is an important part of real estate as well.
Well, I mean, investment properties or income properties, vary. There's all sorts of different types, and even just a regular house or a condo can be an income property. So really what it is, it's about doing the math and figuring out, whether it's profitable as an income property. And that to me was always really interesting because research and math take away the emotion of the decision. You can look at it on paper and figure out whether or not you're going to make money and know yes on this one, no on these two, and then you can narrow it down that way, which I always thought was really cool, the way to do it. And from a business standpoint, you have a much better chance of making money when you rely on that versus the other half of it, which is the emotion, or like, oh, I like this house.
Right.
You can get in trouble that way.
And right now with the market, would you say that it's like an exciting time to purchase like a vacation property or a second property for Airbnb and all that stuff that's going on in the market right now?
Well, right now people are taking their second property and making their main property.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because high net worth individuals realize, like, I don't need to be in Manhattan. I mean, the Hamptons are blowing up. This is the best season ever in the Hamptons for sales.
Wow.
Because they're just buying sight unseen properties just in the mountains. Aspen, Wyoming, Jackson Hole. All these places are blowing up because they're either their second home, they're moving there, or they're buying a home there and they're either leasing the one in LA or selling it. Right. It's not a huge number of people, but a lot of people are doing that right now.
And now what about Miami? Is that a hot market right now? Because, I was on a conference call or a webinar we had with a builder, Douglas Elliman, the CEO, was on the call as well, talking about this brand new property in Miami. Is Miami, would you say that's a hot market?
Well, you're gonna have to watch the taxes. What happens in the election, people will be going to Florida because Florida has lower taxes.
That's a good tip.
So the New Yorkers will be going to Florida, and people in LA are going to either Vegas or other states because now California's at 13.3%, and they're talking about taking it to 16.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So what are some of the states that are lowering taxes if someone's interested in buying, like maybe an investment property, but they don't want to spend a whole lot of taxes?
For an investment property, I think there's a lot more going on for an investment property than just the taxes, because investment property, you want to get into a market that's kind of going. So if there's an influx, like Nashville has been really hot. I think there's certain parts of Florida that are going pretty well. I think Florida is going to continue to be a good destination because the East Coasters are pushing in there. They've always pushed in there. So the values probably should go up there in the next year or so.
So for us in Southern California, there's Santa Barbara, there's San Diego. Is San Diego also becoming like a really hot market?
I haven't seen a lot of people going to San Diego. I know Santa Barbara is getting a lot of push. People are coming out of San Francisco and New York and coming to LA and those areas. So I think California in general has a lure because of the beach, because of the weather.
So another tip is owning property perhaps outside of Los Angeles, like Big Bear or Arrowhead or Santa Barbara. That could be a great vacational property.
And you have to decide, are you buying it because you want it for yourself to use and you're using the income to offset your costs, or are you buying it as an income property? Because you do the math, and if you use it yourself a lot, you won't make enough money to really make money, but you'll break even, maybe make a little money. So it's really just about getting the numbers on paper and figuring out whether it makes sense for you. How much are you going to use it? What are you going to charge? What can you get for it? And then, and what's the overhead on it? Stuff like that. So it can be really profitable. It just depends. You got to be savvy about it, just like anywhere. Well, you've got, first of all, how much does it cost around? You've got taxes, you've got insurance, you've got utilities, all those things, that are going to cost you. And then you've got income. So there's a cap rate formula that you add together your expenses and you take it out of the income and divide by the current value to give you a cap rate.
I love it. It's so exciting talking with you. I think I learned a lot today. Hopefully our viewers also were educated a little bit more about first time buying a home, buying a vacational property. And this is just incredible. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. And let's crush it.
Let's crush it.